Hello everyone, this is Erik, the Asian movie enthusiast, and this is my review of Gothic and Lolita Psycho, a Japanese action comedy from 2010. Yuki once led a peaceful life with her loving parents, but her family's happiness was taken away, suddenly one day, by a group of evil people wearing black cloaks. Her father lost the ability to walk, and her mother was massacred. Yuki, the only one to escape the violence, was left with unanswered questions and profound sorrow. But that sadness soon turned into a smoldering anger and a burning resolve to get to the bottom of the mystery. Fashioning herself as an elegant demon of vengeance, Yuki sets off, wearing her jet black Gothic Lolita dress, in search of payback for her mother's death. So, Gothic Lolita Psycho, one of those crazy action comedies that came out of Japan soon after The Machine Girl made a big splash. However, the difference here is that Go Ohara directed it, and I was familiar with this director because of his surprisingly entertaining action flick Geisha vs. Ninja, also known as Geisha Assassin, which came out a few years prior in 2008. And that movie had some good fight choreography. So I was excited to see Gothic and Lolita Psycho because this director was involved. Now, most fortunately, it does deliver. So let's begin with the worst part of the movie, the opening scenes, which are very obnoxious. You know, it has like a close-up shot of a dude eating noodles, and it goes on for like 3 minutes. And this is a very big pet peeve of mine. I hate close-up shots of people eating for the sake of showing them as being like unsavory or disgusting or something. I figured you could do it a different way. I just hate scenes like that. And this begins with a scene like this. Not a good start. And then it immediately transitions to like a few brief moments of torture. Like they're in this like evil cult's den or something. Kind of an abrasive and off-putting opening to the film. I would actually argue that the tone of that scene is even a little bit too dark, given the rest of the movie. But thankfully, this movie does not take long to get rockin'. By the 10-minute mark, we get a hilarious death scene, which is followed by a legitimately good one versus many fight sequence. And this director's eye for staging entertaining fights is evident in Gothic and Lolita Psycho. Our protagonist uses like an umbrella with some unique accessories to it. And her martial arts abilities are good as well. Although there seems to be some stunt doubling going on at times. Because sometimes when you look at the wide shots, they kind of obscure her face and her wig gets a little bigger. But regardless, there's someone doing all of this stuff. And they're quite good. There's a very entertaining fight in a high school gymnasium against a dude who uses a mop as a weapon. Yeah, the object that they use to clean floors. Not joking, and it was a fun scene. Then there's a fight against some guys like, they call themselves the Kamikaze Gang. Probably the weakest fight in the movie, but there's some cool acrobatics in that scene. And then we get like a highlight, like the big highlight scene in the movie, undoubtedly. It's like not even close. Is a lengthy fight/gun battle between our protagonist and a lunatic schoolgirl. It's a Japanese movie. It's going to happen. And this girl has, like, double-barrel guns and an eye patch. And that scene has some surprises and is genuinely exciting even at times. And, of course, really funny. So that's really, like, my favorite scene of the movie. And then the final boss, while not being quite as cool as the evil schoolgirl, of course, he is able to handicap our protagonist by distracting her with a trap and a hostage. So she has to kind of keep the hostage alive while fighting him. So I thought it was kind of an interesting little set piece at the end. So overall, I do think the action does satisfy in this. The special effects and gore in this film are not as crazy as some of the other Japanese films of this kind from this era. You know, there are blood sprays, of course. But there's not as much body horror in this compared to stuff like Tokyo Gore Police, right? Story's pretty thin, as you might expect. A few scenes are surprising and unexpected, though. I liked them. Our protagonist at times shows no mercy to these evil cult-like villains, which is nice to see. And the runtime is only like 1 hour and 28 minutes long. Pacing is very fast, very easy to sit through. So I think Gothic and Lolita Psycho is really kind of, I think, in the upper echelon of these types of Japanese films that came out from like the late 2000s, early 2010s. It's kind of a shame that this director's career has tailed off in recent years, because he definitely had a talent for staging some action scenes. The last movie I saw from him, though, was a movie called An Assassin from 2011, which was kind of disappointing. So maybe that movie kind of contributed to his directorial decline. But it would be nice to see him come back to something like this and give us another project like this. But if you're into this kind of thing, I definitely recommend Gothic and Lolita Psycho. It's currently available on streaming and physical media. And as always, I will see you next time.